Last Monday night, the IPFW men's basketball team rallied from a 10-point halftime deficit to defeat Texas A&M Corpus Christi on the road 70-68. This afternoon, they'll try to make it 2 in a row as they get ready to entertain the Penguins of Youngstown State University. Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Miles. Welcome to IPFW basketball. I'm joined in this broadcast, as always, by Charlie Washington. And Charlie, Monday night, key contributions from a trio of sophomores helped lead to this victory.
Well, that's a key to IPFW, a young basketball team. Next year, we have to get some big guys and some quick guys to combat in this NCAA Division I mode of basketball. But those 3 young guys are great things to look forward to.
These 2 teams today played against each other last year down in Ohio, and Youngstown State came out on top 78-71. How much is revenge a factor for today's game?
Well, for us, Mike, this is senior night, senior day in terms of telecast. The Dons' last telecast that we will have, we have 2 seniors that we hate to see go, but hey, good luck to them in the future.
Those 2 seniors, Brad Knoll, D'Angelo Woodall, we'll be learning more about them during the course of the broadcast. But starting lineups and tip-off is just ahead. IPFW, Youngstown State, right here on College 56 Sports. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW. This is Mike Miles along with Charlie Washington getting ready to call the action in today's men's basketball game featuring the Penguins of Youngstown State University and the IPFW Mastodons. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for this afternoon's game for the visitors from Youngstown State. At the guard positions will be Doug Underwood, a 6'3" sophomore from Fort Meade, Maryland. The other guard, Marlon Williamson, a 5'11" senior out of Detroit. The forwards are T.J. Anderson, 6'6" junior out of Dorchester, Massachusetts, and Brian Radakovich, 6'7" sophomore from Steubenville, Ohio. And in center will be Adam Ballman, a 6'8" junior from Scottsdale, Arizona. Penguins are coached by John Robick. For IPFW at the guard positions, D'Angelo Woodall, 6' senior from Freeport, Illinois, and Terry Collins, a 6' sophomore from here in Fort Wayne. The forward positions will be Rick Wyatt, a 6'7" sophomore from Indianapolis, and Jim Kesnick, a 6'10" junior from Pewaukee, Wisconsin. And at center will be David Simon, a 6'9" sophomore from Vernon Hills, Illinois. The Mastodons are coached by Doug Knoll in his 4th year here at the university. Well, Charlie Washington, IPFW, trying to make it 2 wins in a row following a road victory down in Texas Monday night.
Well, Mike, the Dons have been playing well, but it's not easy to do, particularly for a young team, to put 40 minutes together, and that's exactly what we have to do tonight, put 40 good minutes together. Well,
these 2 teams coming into today, IPFW 5-18 overall, Youngstown State 8-12. They are 4-6 in the Horizon League. They're tied for 4th there. We mentioned their head coach is John Robick. John is in his 4th year as the mentor of the Penguins, and he has a record coming into this afternoon's game of 44-62. Doug Knoll is also in his 4th year as the head coach of IPFW. Doug has a record of 30-78 here at the university. He's in his 10th year overall as a head coach, and his overall record is 162 wins and 185 defeats. You get a look at the Youngstown State bench. Youngstown coming in on an emotional high, Charlie. They defeated Loyola of Chicago Thursday night, 67-65, I believe it was, but they scored with 46 seconds to go to take the lead and pull out a victory.
Well, yeah, and there are a few like opponents on both of these team schedules, and it's very indicative of how close the Dons are. But close is not always good enough, and we want to be able to compete, but also get some wins out of here.
It's T.J. Anderson, number 33 in red, against David Simon, number 55 in white in the circle. Our head official, Mark Masariu, gets ready to toss it up. And we're underway. Tap controlled by the Mastodons. D'Angelo Woodall. Jim Kesnick, 6'10" junior out of Pewaukee. Lob pass into David Simon, and Simon jams it for the first points of the game.
Great seal off that time by Simon, and good over-the-top pass by Wyan that time. Simon is really coming along.
Marlon Williamson, point guard, number 11 for Youngstown State. Dishes it off underneath. Shot, tap up, no good. Second tap, no good by Ballman. Penguins retain possession, however. Underwood, left-hand shot up and in.
Three-point shot. And anytime you give a team 2 or 3 shots at a basket, bad things are usually going to happen, and it certainly did that time with a 3-point shot.
Youngstown State with a 3-2 lead. We're just underway here at the Utica Sports Center. Glad you could join us this afternoon here in College 56 Sports. Kesnick. Simon in the block. Spin move. Shot up and in. David Simon 2 for 2. Early going.
Youngstown gave up way too good a position to Simon, and if you let me get it in that close, I think I can shoot 50% from down there, Mike.
I can remember you playing, Charlie. Turnaround jumper is good by Brian Radakovich. And Youngstown State retakes the lead 5-4, and we played a minute and a half. D'Angelo Woodall, senior from Freeport, Illinois, with the basketball. Terry Collins, lob pass for Simon again. And this time he has a shot blocked by Radakovich. They fight for the loose ball.
Great job staying with it. Simon got it blocked a couple times.
Oh, nice feed. Woodall to Simon.
And once again, just like the other end, if you give a team 2 or 3 shots at the basket, bad things are going to happen for you. Great job that time by Simon staying with it.
Youngstown State. T.J. Anderson pops home a jumper. And this lead's going back and forth, Charlie. 7-6 now. Penguins back on top. There are seniors near midcourt. Terry Collins, first shot of the day. In and out, no good. Radakovich pulls down the rebound. Marlon Williamson, senior out of Detroit. Watched by Collins. Underwood. Lob pass to Ballman. Ballman driving on Simon. Blocked by Simon. David Simon's come to play today, Charlie.
And the great thing is, so far he stayed out of early foul trouble.
Rick Wyan misses on a 3-point attempt. Underwood comes down and running. And now he's stopped. Simon with another rebound off the Williamson miss.
Great job. Every rebound he gets, every point he scores is only going to add to his confidence.
Collins. Is it knocked away by Anderson? Or Williamson, I should say. I'm sorry. Terry Collins had 14 points Monday night in the win at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. 10 on the shot clock. Collins wants to drive. Off the glass and in. Nice move, Terry Collins.
Great job going left, and that's an indicator of the strength that Terry Collins possesses. Took it in, backed it up, and then took it back in, dropped the shoulder to get past the defenders.
Ballman underneath. Blocked by Kesnick. Gets it back. Puts it up and in, and he's fouled. First foul of the afternoon called on Jim Kesnick.
Both teams so far, Mike, have had very good interior defense. We've gotten the ball inside. Both teams have gotten the ball inside, had a couple of blocks, but in most cases so far, the offensive team has gotten the ball back and had a few stickbacks.
Adam Ballman averaging just over 12 points a game at the line. He's an 84% free throw shooter. Makes the free throw. Now we got a couple of substitutions for Youngstown State. Number 1, Jonathan Menz, 5'11" freshman from Miami, Florida. Number 25, Jamel Porter, 6'7" junior out of Patterson, New Jersey, in the lineup. Ten to 8 is our score. 16 minutes to go here in the first half. Youngstown State on top. Kesnick downtown, no good, but it comes out to Woodall. Collins for 3, off the mark. Kesnick with another rebound. Don's having a third crack at it now on this possession. Missed a pair of threes. Wyand's going to try and hits. First you don't succeed, try got to try again. Rick Wyatt on the board with his first points
There you go again. Offensive rebounds, extra shots at the basket. Very patient that time by Wyatt, letting everything develop and then taking an open shot.
Oh, nice feed from Anderson inside the Porter, and it's blocked by Simon. Terry Collins firing along three. No, Simon crashes the boards and draws the foul as he was over the back of Jamel Porter. First foul on David Simon. Second on the team. We've got a timeout on the floor. 15-13 left in the first half. Our score, IPFW 11, Youngstown State 10. You're watching IPFW basketball on College 56 Sports.
You may have noticed IPFW's basketball games are a lot more fun this year, thanks to our very own pep band. Hi, I'm Krista Markham.
I'm Matt Ehrman.
And I'm Barry Sturgill, Stop Band Director. The Stop Band is looking for more members, and we want you to join.
This is a great chance to be a part of a new tradition at IPFW and meet lots of great people too.
So dust off those jumpers, pull the flutes out of the attic, and join us at the next game.
Call 260-481-6166 for more information on how you can share your school spirit and IPFW pride.
Welcome back, everybody. Mike Moss, Charlie Washington with you. You're looking at the IPFW bench. It's 15-13 left here in the first half, and the Mastodons enjoying a tenuous 1-point lead, 11-10. Thoughts so far, Charlie, on the first almost 5 minutes of play?
Well, offensive rebounding has been the key so far. David Simon, although he just picked up his first foul, offensive rebounds and putbacks have been very key for the Mastodons in particular. And if they can continue that trend, they're going to be in good shape.
IPFW shooting rather well at the outset as well. 46% on 5 of 11 from the floor, although they have missed 5 of 6 3-point shots. Youngstown State 40% on 4 of 10 shooting, 1 of 2 from behind the arc. It is Youngstown State with the basketball. Jonathan Mins brings it up. Looks like IPFW's playing, looks like almost a matchup 2-3 zone. Mins with a three-pointer, no good. Rebound fought for, picked up by Wyan. Here comes IPFW. Terry Collins. Watched by Mins, nice feed to Woodall, the foul line. Senior off the mark on the shot, goes out of bounds.
That looked like a block on this, and I don't think, although he's not the greatest shooter on the team, I don't think he would have shot an air ball from that range.
Interesting to see if he can come up with one of those dunks that he's had here in the past today. Steal by D'Angelo Woodall. Collins on the run. Shot up, no good, but TC is fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
And that was great strength once again by Collins just to get the ball up in the air with a possible chance to go in, although he was fouled very hard.
Foul was on Mins, his first, team first. So Terry Collins, who came into the game averaging just under 12 points a game, 78% free throw shooter, chance to make a couple of them here. First one's good. His third point of the day. Williamson back in the lineup along with Kari McQueen. McQueen, a 6'5" sophomore from Springfield, Massachusetts. In the lineup for the first time today. Second free throw for Terry Collins. Off the rim, no good. Rebounded by TJ Anderson. It's a 12-10 Mastodon lead with 14:21 to go here in the first half. Williamson. Anderson. Perimeter passing. Anderson for 3, off the rim, no. Collins with the rebound. Terry Collins. Gets it to Woodall. Simon at the high post, and he's fouled. Marlon Williamson picks up his first foul, team second. It'll be IPFW basketball. Rick Wyan will inbound it. Mastodons playing just their 5th home game of the year, game number 24. Simon off the glass, no. Rebounded by Bill Malerney, who's in the lineup for Youngstown State.
Donzar do look to be in a 2-3 zone, matching up.
Underwood for 3. Wyan gets the missed shot. Rick Wyant playing in pain. Talked to him before the game. He's gutting it out for the rest of the year. Kesnick kicks it out to Collins. TC in the paint, and it's foul. Let's see if they're going to call it a shooting foul. No, foul's on Underwood. They're going to say it was possession, not shooting. So the Mastodons will inbound it. Kyle Thrasher, number 44, in for David Simon. Brad Knoll, coach's son, number 24, in for Terry Collins for IPFW. Woodall looking for somebody in white. Gets it out to Wyant, way back on the side of midcourt. Oh, nice feed to Woodall. Inside, Kesnick fouled, going up for the shot. Charlie, we saw 2 good passes on that possession.
A good key, Mike, as you stated, 2 good passes. A good key to that is going to be, you look at any team's stats and assists. If you get assists on your baskets, that shows that you're sharing the basketball instead of just a lot of one-on-one, even if you have those standout players that can achieve that.
Jim Kesnick at the line, misses the first. Comes in here shooting just over 80% from the stripe. 2 substitutions, Adam Ballman back in, along with Andrew Yankee. Yankee, a 6'4" freshman from Manitowoc, Wisconsin. So John Robick using his bench. He's got almost everybody in the lineup at one point or another. Second free throw by Kesnick is good. Jim's first point of the day, and it's a 3-point Mastodon lead, 13-10 with 13:05 to go here in the first half. Williamson. And it's stolen by Woodall. Woodall to Knoll, and Brad has it pickpocketed. Good play by Yankee for Youngstown.
Great comeback play.
Underwood hits the jumper. It's a long 2. Doug Underwood now has 5 points, and it's a 13-12 IPFW lead. Kesnick wants to drive, forces it up, no good. Rebound count by Williamson. Youngstown with numbers. Williamson coast to coast, misses the shot. Kesnick with the rebound, outlets it to Woodall. Woodall takes it strong and makes it.
Great play that time by the senior. Once again, those years, those past 3 years in the weight room, paying off.
He took it strong on Underwood that time and made that shot. Williamson being hounded by Woodall. Underwood, left-handed 3, no good. Kesnick with another rebound. Right now, IPFW out. Well, the rebounds are even, 10 apiece. For a second, I thought they were out rebounding the Penguins.
D'Angelo Woodall looking a little winded.
Kesnick way up top, and he can shoot the 3 if need be. Wants to get it inside to Wyant, and Wyant draws the foul, I believe, on Underwood. That is his second, team 5th. And we've got another media timeout. So, with 11:38 left in the first half, our score, IPFW 15, Youngstown State 12.
As we just talked about, Mike, D'Angelo Woodall came out of the basketball game 4 years, and he's been a great leader on this team. And we talked with him a little bit this past week about how the team has come together and how the process has been transitioning into Division I basketball.
Our teammates, the camaraderie we have, road trips is so much fun. I mean, you out there, and sometimes without school, it's a little bit better. But I mean, you have teammates that are willing to help you. Like I have calculus classes that I struggle with. Jim Kesnick, he's a junior this year. He's a junior and I'm a senior, but he still helps me. And I think the camaraderie we have and just the patience.
Well, I'll tell you, Charlie, D'Angelo Woodall, it's hard to believe that he and Brad Knoll have been here for 4 years.
You're exactly right. And I'll tell you, I've truly enjoyed watching D'Angelo play. Certainly one of my favorite players. Plays the game the way it's supposed to be played. He leaves it out on the court every minute he's out there. And it's been a pleasure for me. And good luck to this young man in any of his future endeavors.
Well, He's brought some thrills here to the fans here at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. Almost ready for action. You see another substitution for IPFW, Tyler Clevenger and Brandon Jennings. Clevenger is a 6'3" freshman from Winchester, and Jennings, six freshman from Canal, Winchester, Ohio.
Got a young team on the court with the elder statesman Brad Knoll.
Speaking of Brad Knoll, he takes the long shot and misses. Ballman comes down with the rebound. Penguins on the run. Shot up and missed by Yankee. Jennings comes down with the rebound. Now IPFW wants to do some moving. Jennings, 17-footer is good.
Great feed that time from Carruthers. Great catch, first of all, up the left side of the court, and then good feed.
Mastodons with a 5-point lead, just under 11 minutes to go here in the first half. Ballman has it knocked away by Carruthers, the official says. Pass intended for Radakovich. David Simon re-enters the IPFW lineup, replacing Kyle Thrasher. David Simon Monday night, Charlie, 8 of 10 from the floor, 17 points, and boy, is he developing into a nice player.
And the key this game is to keep him on the court with no more than 2 fouls going into the second half.
Radakovich forces one up and in. 4 points now for Brian. And the lead's down to 3, 17-14. Lob pass to Simon, triple team, gets it to Carruthers, and the freshman misses the shot off the glass. Boy, was he quick. Back comes Youngstown State. Yankee drains a 3, and we're tied at 17, just like that.
Like to get something inside.
Carruthers, top of the key, watched by T.J. Anderson.
Let's take advantage of the time that Simon is on the court and get some offense from him.
Simon forces it up, makes it. See if they count it.
And that's just what you like. 5 guys listening to you, what your instructions and what they should do.
They do count the bucket. Foul is on Williamson, his second, team 6th. David Simon going for point number 9. Misses the free throw, however. So it's a 2-point lead as we just crossed the 10-minute mark here in the first half. Yankee work it around. 3-point shot on the way, no good. Ballman fights for the rebound, but it's taken away by Carruthers instead. Clevenger. Don's wanting to run. They've got a relatively small lineup on the floor.
Small and young.
Clevenger to Knoll. Lob pass to Jennings. On the block, spin move, shot up, no. Ballman with the rebound for Youngstown State.
Good move that time, just maybe a step or a step and a half outside of where you'd like to see a jump hook.
Ballman puts it up and in, and Doug Knoll calls a 30-second timeout in a hurry. 9:04 to go here in a half. Well, we take a quick look at some of the numbers, Charlie. IPFW, 40%, 8 of 20 from the floor. Youngstown State, 38%, 8 of 21. Penguins have a 14-13 lead on the boards. So that's indicative of a score that's 19-19.
Very even ball game so far. I think the Dons continue to look inside. Simon's playing very well, and once again, take advantage of the time he's on the court and out of foul trouble.
You've got Carruthers, Simon, Knoll, Clevenger, Jennings, 3 freshmen, a sophomore, and a senior. And for Youngstown, Radakovich, Yankee, Ballman, T.J. Anderson, and Jonathan Mins. Brad Knoll. Jennings. Back out. Inside feed to Simon. Give and go. Brad Knoll for three. No. Jennings with a good offensive rebound and it's taken away
Might have been grabbed that
by
time.
Yankee. Oh, nice defensive play by Carruthers. Knocked the ball out of Men's hands. Prevented a layup.
And as you stated a moment ago, Carruthers is quick.
He's going to have a seat on the bench, replaced by Terry Collins. Carruthers, a freshman out of Flint, Michigan. Yankee gets it back up top. Giving, almost a steal by Collins. Radakovic, offensive putback, puts it home. Let's see if they count it. They do. And David Simon draws foul number 2 with 8.5 minutes to go.
And I was just going to say, Coach Knoll now has a decision, but before I can get the words out, that decision's already been made. And with 8:31, I'm not sure if we're going to see Simon again. I knew that was a key, keep him at 2 fouls or under going into the second half.
D'Angelo Woodall back in the lineup as well, besides Kesnick for the Mastodons. Radakovic, left-handed free throw, in, out, and in again. Ryan now has 7 points. And Youngstown State has a 22-19 lead. Woodall, crossed by Menz. Collins looking for somebody inside. Brad, no, off the glass, no. Kesnick fights for it. Jennings puts it up, no. Tap, knocked out of bounds, and they say it belongs to Youngstown State.
That can't be right, can it? That's saying that Brad Knoll out-jumped the number 44 from Youngstown State. Thank you. I didn't think that would have been their ball.
Jennings kicks it out to Kesnick. Long-range shot, yes. Jim Kesnick with a tray.
Great shot that time by Kessler, and that's what he can bring to you, that outside shot. He's not going to bang down underneath, so use his strength and what he can give you. And that's a great job that time getting the ball out to him beyond the three-point arc.
Ties the ball game at 22. Menz being watched by Woodall. See if he draws a 5 count. Stolen instead by Brad Knoll. Brad off the glass and in. Nice move, Brad Knoll.
Great job. Now maybe that can get Knoll going. A good layup. That's great for an outside shooter. Get a layup, and now maybe that outside shot will start falling.
Being a shrimp myself, I like the defense and the steal. And a turnover.
An unforced error that time, but we'll take it.
Terry Collins kicks it to Knoll. Work it around the horn. Collins wanted to use a Kesnick pick. Instead, passes into Kesnick. Brad Knoll, long three-pointer, no good. Rebounded by McQueen. Here come the Penguins. We're under 7 minutes to go now here in the first half. 24-22 our score. IPFW on top. Menz looking, little two-man game. Radakovic brings it way back out now. Down to 11 on the shot clock. Menz. It's going to be one-on-one. Oh, going to call a foul on Collins. I thought it was good defensive play. They're calling it a shooting foul? Both coaches on the floor talking to their players. They're going to call a foul on Terry Collins. It's his first. Team fourth. But they're saying that McQueen somehow was in the act of shooting, and I didn't think we were in the NBA, Charlie.
I didn't think so either. It looked like on the pass to me, the foul, or the alleged foul, was committed certainly on the floor from our vantage point.
Well, McQueen knocks down the first. Another substitution, Derek Harris. Harris is a 6'2 freshman from Cambridge, Mass. For Youngstown. Second free throw by McQueen is good as well. And we've got another media timeout. So, 6:26 left until halftime. We are tied, 24 apiece. And you're watching IPFW basketball on College 56 Sports.
Going to college is something many people plan and save for, but in these days of tight budgets, that can be a scary proposition. And what about colleges and universities themselves? How do they face budget crunches? Is there anything the institutions or their alumni can do to get more funding? I'm Jeanette Liu, and I'll have the answers to these and other questions on this month's edition of IPFW Up Close, Sundays at noon on College Cable Access Channel 56.
Welcome back, everybody. Mike Moss, Charlie Washington with you here at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. 6 minutes, 26 seconds left here in the first half. As you get a look at Angel Ruiz, a member of the IPFW men's volleyball team. Charlie, they're off to a good start. They defeated Quincy last night in the MIVA opener. They are now 4-1 on the young season. And now you get a look at the IPFW bench. IPFW playing well so far here in the first half, and we're tied at 24.
Well, you couldn't ask for anything better in terms of execution, except you, and I'm sure a lot of the crowd would love to see David Simon and some more of those thunderous dunks, but he's in foul trouble right now. 2 fouls, not in dangerous foul trouble, but certainly we have to keep him out of the game.
Rick Wyand back in the lineup, inbounds the ball to D'Angelo Woodall, and the senior comes up the court. Clevenger looking for Kesnick, can't find him. Rick Wyand. Terry Collins for 3, off the rim, no. Radakovic fought off his own teammate Williamson for the rebound. Youngstown State now with a 15-14 advantage on the glass. Harris, TJ Anderson, baseline drive, blocked by Wyand. Radakovic wants to drive on Kesnick. Shot blocked by Kesnick, out of bounds. They say last touch by Harris. Turnover Penguins, ball goes over to IPFW. Good defensive there underneath that time by the Mastodons.
Once again, Mike, both teams, and particularly IPFW, playing great interior defense, and that was a great example of that time, and we got the break that time.
Clevenger. Kesnick has it knocked away, but he's fouled by McQueen. And for McQueen, it's personal foul number 2. On the team, it's foul number 7. So Jim Kesnick will go to the line to shoot 1 and bonus. Ballman back in the lineup, replacing Radakovic for Youngstown State. And Jim Kesnick, as you see Doug Knoll talking to D'Angelo Woodall and Tyler Clevenger. Kesnick at the line, makes the first one.
Kesnick is kind of he's in that what you call a tweener. Although he's 6'10", he's what you call a tweener. If you can get some big people around him, I'm not sure he can play the defense at the 3 position, the small forward position. But if you can take some pressure where he doesn't have to bang and rebound as much, he'll probably give you greater contributions.
Makes both free throws, gives IPFW a 26-24 lead as we're under 5.5 minutes here in the first half. Williamson, watched by Woodall. Ballman has it blocked by Wyand. Kesnick comes up with the ball for IPFW. Kesnick takes it strong and he draws it. Offensive foul. You kind of thought it was coming.
Great job that time by Kesnick filling the lanes. Just couldn't pull up that time and give the Youngstown State defender credit. Took the blow.
Well, the bad news for Kesnick, it's his second foul. Now he's going to go on the bench. Jennings comes back in the lineup, and now we're going to see how this team responds. The 2 towers, as we've called them this year. Simon and Kesnick both on the bench with 2 fouls, and we get just over 5 minutes to go here in the first half.
But you do have 2 people on the court that can put the ball in the hole, and you always want that at least 2 guys. And you got Wyand and Collins who can certainly score for you.
Harris, watched by Clevenger. Williamson and Woodall been doing battle all day. Harris seniors.
Wily veterans going at it.
TJ Anderson, and they're going to say that Woodall, I think Woodall, maybe it's Wyand, I'm not sure. Yeah. They're going to call it on Collins. He has 2 fouls now. 16 fouls on the Mastodons. That brings Brad Nolan to line up for Terry Collins. So
Boy, Reese Small. That puts Clevenger at a 3, playing a small forward.
See if they get the ball into Rick Wyant's hands a little bit more now. Harris down low to Porter. Cross-court pass. Harris, baseline drive, cut off. Shot up, missed, tap, no good. We got over the back foul, I think, on Ballman of Youngstown State.
Good job boxing out that time, or even if it wasn't a box out, getting in the way, and that's what you really have to do when you have a small team on the court. You have to position yourself in front of those offensive rebounders.
Foul was called on Adam Ballman, his first, team 8th. So Brandon Jennings will go to the line to shoot 1 in the bonus. IPFW 4 of 7 so far at the foul line. Could really use a couple of free throws. Brandon Jennings. Misses the free throw. And now Clevenger's getting called for a reach-in foul on Porter. Don't look now, but fouls are starting to add up. 7th team foul on IPFW.
And that's what you have there in essence is a turnover, Mike. Whenever you miss the front end of a 1-and-1 and the defensive team gets the rebound, it's basically a turnover, but compounded by the fact that you got a foul and now they're going to the free throw line.
Porter, a 55% free throw shooter. Gets the lucky roll. He'll get another one. Penguins are 5 of 5 at the foul line so far here in the first half. IPFW 4 of 8. Second free throw is good as well.
And that's in essence a 4-point turnaround in less than 5 seconds.
We're tied at 26, 4:18 to go here in the first half. IPFW in the home white with a basketball. Wyant fires a 3 and short. Rebounded by Ballman. Here come the Penguins on the run. Give and go. Ballman! They're going to call block it, or they're going to call offensive foul. Mark Massaru says no. Disregard the bucket. Offensive foul on Ballman.
That was a good position that time. The only question was how far was he under the basket, and that's not as much a question at the college level as it is at the professional level. So he was in position and he took the blow. Good job that time by the IPFW defender.
19 fouls now on Youngstown State. Wyant way up top. Woodall got a whistle away from the ball. Call a foul, I believe, on Ballman again. Let me make sure. It is. And it's the team's 10th.
I'm not sure the way we're shooting free throws, I'm not sure how bad a move that was for Youngstown State.
Brandon Jennings goes back to the line. He missed one a moment ago, but this time he gets 2 because it's a double bonus situation this last 3 minutes and 48 seconds. First free throw is good.
People may not realize how big a difference that is, Mike, a 1-and-1 versus 2 shots, but it takes the pressure off. There's not as much pressure to make that first free throw because you know you're going to get another one, and so you're a little bit more relaxed.
Well, he gets the bonus now, a chance to give the Mastodons a 2-point lead. And he does. And we've got our final media timeout of the first half. 3:48 left here in period number 1. Our score, IPFW 28, Youngstown State 26.
We haven't had much opportunity to talk about our 2 seniors together. We've talked about them one or the other. We've had them both on the court the last minute or so, and their leadership has been very integral. And we talked to Coach Knoll a little bit and got his view about our 2 seniors.
Both him and Brad have been captains for 3 years, and that's put an added responsibility on them during the summer to get the guys in to lift and play, but he's done an outstanding job, and so I'm just thrilled, and I just really hope that they have a ton of success these last 7 games because they really deserve it.
Well, Doug Knoll, and you know he's a proud dad. It's something that he wanted to do, and it just worked out. He gave Brad the choice of where he wanted to go to school. And when he let Brad know that he was coming down here and was going to take the job, he said, Brad, if you want to come, we'll talk to you, but if you want to go somewhere else, it's entirely up to you. He said he's coming down, and he joined Dad for 4 years, and Brad is a heck of a guy. He really is.
I couldn't imagine, the impact that would have to have on a father, having his son, play for him, certainly at this level. And Brad's done a tremendous job. Scoring's dropped off the last couple of years, but he came in as a freshman and sophomore, scored a lot, depended on to score a lot. But he's been a tremendous leader these last couple of years and helped make this program what it is and what it's going to be.
Youngstown State in the red with the basketball. Marlon Williamson drives the lane, pops one up, no good. Rebound picked up by Williamson. Now Wyatt gets it. Ball goes out of bounds. And they say last touch by Williamson, starting to get a little bit of physicality going on here.
A great job that time by Wyatt. What he's lost in quickness and agility, he's certainly given back in effort and hard-nosedness.
Mastodons with the basketball. They enjoy a 2-point lead, 28-26. Wyatt, Knoll, Carruthers, Woodall, and Jennings on the floor. Interesting combination for head coach Doug Knoll. Knoll wants to drive in the trees. Shot up, no. Carruthers fights for the rebound. Puts it back up, he's hammered. Anderson with the ball for Youngstown State. Anderson takes it all the way. And they're going to call it a blocking foul. Basket good. Foul on IPFW. Woodall called for the foul. Interesting sequence of events, Charlie.
Well, I think a lot of letting them play, basically. A lot of fouls look like, to us, fouls, but no calls on either end.
T.J. Anderson, so you're going to look at John Robick. Yeah, saying make that bucket good. We're tied at 28. Anderson's going to try for the conventional three-point play, and he gets it. Anderson now with 5 points. Penguins retake the lead, 29-28.
Big possession right here with that interesting combination of players.
Woodall short on the shot. Goes out of bounds and goes over to Youngstown State. And I think with that first step, I think his teammates thought that D'Angelo Woodall was going to penetrate and try to take it down low.
Right. And not a bad shot, but not particularly his strength or his forte.
Marlon Williamson with a basketball for the Penguins. Now down low, Melanie, turnaround jumper is good. Melanie on the board for the first time today, and the lead is up to 3. 31-28 as we near the 2-minute mark. Wyatt for 3. Yes, Rick Wyatt.
Big shot.
Ties it up. He now has 6 points on the afternoon. 31 apiece. Minute 50 to go in the half. Melanie. Turnaround jumper again, no good. Rebound picked up by Knoll. Just need to play it smart here. Brad Knoll to Jennings. Put it on the perimeter. Plenty of time, 17 in the shot clock, minute 22 in the game clock. Woodall, Jennings on the block. Wants to drive, turnaround jumper, short. Carruthers gets it, no good, and he's fouled going back up. Good offensive rebound by Carruthers off the miss by Jennings.
And that was created by balance on the floor and patience.
The foul was on T.J. Anderson, his first. So Quentin Carruthers said he's a freshman out of Flint, Michigan. And he is, it's been fun watching him develop here in his freshman year.
Yes, our last telecast, he had a dunk that would have made any highlight reel.
Misses the free throw, first free throw. He gets another one. 70% at the line coming into this game. Misses that one too. But Jennings with the offensive board. He goes up and draws the foul. And Maloney gets his first foul.
Offensive rebounds right now, no question, keeping IPFW in this basketball game.
Youngstown State is out rebounding the Mastodons 23-19, but the last two possessions, big offensive rebounds, drew fouls. Now if they can make the free throws. Jennings with the first.
Overall 23-19, but if we talk about second chance points, I would guarantee when we look at the stats, the Dons are going to have an advantage there. Offensive rebounds as well as, I think, second chance points.
Second free throw for Jennings is good. Brandon's made 4 in a row after missing his first attempt. 33-31. Mastodons with the lead. 1:10 to go and a half. Williamson picked up at midcourt by Brad Knoll. TJ Anderson. Williamson's the only senior on the Youngstown team. Jennings with a good defensive play. Forces a turnover.
Jennings has played very well.
Wyatt wants to drive in, loses the ball. Good hustle by Carruthers, and they call a timeout. Excellent hustle by Quentin Carruthers, and they get a 30-second timeout. Let's take a quick break. 44 seconds left in the half. Dons up by 2. You're watching IPFW basketball on College 56 Sports.
You know, she continues to spill product at a rate of 3 per hour. Unit cost, say 60 cents. Factor in breakage, downtime, lost sales. You're looking at $2,400 a month. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Back at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center, 44.2 seconds left in the half. IPFW with some good hustle for a loose ball. Regained possession, Charlie Washington, and called a timeout. So now they can set up the play. They got 24 seconds on the shot clock. And now they can set up a good play and see if they can get a score. Clevenger has it knocked away, and he's going to go over the line. There's another foul called on Youngstown State.
And Mike, I'd like to take just a brief moment and let's give Coach Knoll an assist on that possession. As soon as he saw the Dons with possession, it was on the floor, he quickly called a 30-second timeout to ensure possession. I think we would have found someone else. May have been over and back, though, if Clevenger had gotten the basketball. But Coach Knoll, great call.
Yep, Tyler Clevenger, the freshman, misses the first free throw. And IPFW is 8 of 15 at the foul line. And I know Doug Knoll, he teaches free throw shooting various parts of the country, and he was a fine free throw shooter in his own right. As Clevenger misses the second, let's hope they don't come back to haunt him.
I know. I was hoping he'd make it, so that way I'd know the percentage. 8 out of 16 would have easily been 50%. But now it's 8 out of 17.
31 seconds left, and John Robick calls a 30-second timeout for Youngstown State. And for those novices that are just watching basketball for the first time, NCAA rules, each team has 1 full 60-second timeout and 4 30-second timeouts in a game. But if they do not call a timeout in the first half, they lose one of the 30-second timeouts. So John Robick thought, hey, let's not lose the timeout. Let's draw up a play, see if we can go to the locker room either tied or up by 1. With 31 seconds to go, there's a 1.1 second differential shot clock, game clock. So let's see who they got on the floor. They've got Doug Underwood, Andrew Yankee, Bill Maloney, Marlon Williamson, and TJ Anderson. IPFW, Jennings, Wyant, Carruthers, Clevenger, and Brad Knoll. Williamson, senior out of Detroit, with the basketball.
They're obviously going for the last shot of the half.
IPFW with the lead, they can just pack it in. Williamson kicks it out. Yankee for 3. No, Clevenger with the rebound. 2 seconds, 1 second. Half-court shot, no. And we've come to the end of the first half as the teams go into the locker room. I'm not sure if John Rubrick was yelling at his team or yelling at the officials.
Right, I couldn't tell, but as his voice and eyes kept following, I think it was the player.
Well, halftime is now here, and as the teams go to the locker room, the Mastodons enjoy a 2-point lead, 33-31. Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne presents Spotlight on IPFW. An up-close look at some of the hidden treasures on our campus. Our spotlight today is shining brightly on the IPFW Archaeological Survey, directed by Professor Bob McCullough.
700 to 800 years ago, this is what an indigenous farming community near the White River in Hamilton County, Indiana, may have looked like. In the summer of 2001, that same general area looked like this. However, a closer look would have shown you these sites, the remnants of an old military plane or two, rusted cars, and the twisted metal of old farm machinery amongst the vegetation. IPFW's Archaeological Survey has been excavating that area, known as the Strawtown Enclosure, trying to solve the puzzle of just who lived there.
You have intersection of trails. Indiana is the crossroads of America, can be pushed back way into prehistory. You have the trail from the Ohio River up to Fort Wayne runs through the area. You have the trail from the Cincinnati area from the Ohio River up to the Kankakee Marsh and up to Wisconsin, crisscrosses the area. And you also have one that runs east-west. You have evidence that groups from as far away as it looks like western Wisconsin and Iowa inhabited the Strawtown site. There's certainly a question of the group that around Cincinnati, Dayton area, middle Ohio River Valley, associated with those people inhabited the Strawtown enclosure.
With the help of grants from the U.S. Department of the Interior National Park Service Historic Preservation Fund, administered by the Indiana Department of Natural Resources, Division of Historic Preservation and Archaeology, the survey team, the Hamilton County Parks Department, and other groups and volunteers have been excavating the remains of a village dating back to the late 13th or early 14th centuries.
We find basically it's circular shape. The circular village goes about a little less than a football field in diameter. Okay, it had a central plaza that was kept fairly clean, of artifacts. To be a community area that they maintained. There appears to be a habitation area encircling that plaza, and that's where we believe the houses will be located.
McCullough and the others haven't yet determined the design of the houses, but they have discovered some post holes and believe the structures were rectangular with gabled roofs. The remnants of storage and trash pits have been unearthed, as has evidence pointing to a wooden post stockade that encircled the village. McCullough says outside the stockade there was a dry moat, or a wide ditch about 6 or 7 feet deep.
Archaeologists always find the hard parts. So we don't have, they probably had an elaborate wood technology, and feathers and weaving. We don't have evidence of that. What we get is their ceramics, their pottery, which actually gives us a lot of information because they would draw designs. We can trace these designs to various archaeological groups. Stone tools, arrowheads. Certain sites with good bone preservation, where their bone tools, evidences of types of animals they would consume and use for materials. And we get evidence of diet through botanical remains. That's how we know they're maize farmers. We have charred corn. Later on we have beans. Pieces of squash. We know what kind of wild and medicinal plants that were collected. When it becomes charred, we have evidence for that.
One of the questions the survey is trying to answer is, where did the people who lived at Strawtown go? Were they forced out, or did they move on and others take their place?
And they persist in Indiana for close to 200 years. But what happens is the northern areas become to be, they're abandoned, and there's a population shift to the southern portion of the range, down south of Indianapolis. And after 1425, we don't have a record of them occupying this area. It's sort of a mystery we haven't been able to answer yet.
McCullough and the rest of the survey want to find the answer to that and other mysteries. They believe the answers lie in their excavations at Strawtown. But as with anything else these days, it all depends on money.
Our funding basically goes year to year, and we've been there for 2 years based on grants given to us by the Department of Natural Resources, and we have written some grants to return. We hope for it to be a long-term project. There's plans to develop a museum interpretive center, to do a reconstructed Native American village for a living history project. So we hope for it to be a research and educational training park. And right now we're going year by year, so that's the long-range goals.
And so IPFW's Archaeological Survey waits for word on new grants, hoping they can keep digging into Indiana's past.
Dr. Linda Wright Bauer has been the Director of Music Therapy at IPFW since 1986. While her classes prove to be anything but ordinary, her students enjoy the hands-on experience.
I have a slightly different approach to teaching. I really believe that you need to experience things before you can truly understand.
While receiving numerous awards for her teaching, Dr. Wright Bauer still finds that her students' impressions reward her the most.
They say things like, I really enjoyed the drumming, and I have friends. I mean, I really want to be here because I want to be with these people. Often we'll do an experience in class that touches somebody in a really profound and personal way.
As fun as her classes are, she knows what her students need.
We're trying very hard to prepare the students for the jobs of the future.
This has been an IPFW Faculty Minute.
I really wanted to go for an Indiana University business degree.
But with housing and tuition, it really adds up, and the money just wasn't there to go away to college.
And with a 2-year-old, my housing options were kind of limited anyway.
And the truth is, I really wanted to keep my job and stay close to home.
Going to IPFW made all that possible.
IPFW? It's the best choice I ever made.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. The right school, right here, right now.
8 years ago, John Knight joined the Department of Consumer and Family Sciences at IPFW. He developed an innovative curriculum which allows his hotel restaurant students to gain invaluable experience.
And that allows the students to get into the community and be an outreach, bringing industry and education together.
His students partake in serving and managing at several area hotels and restaurants for one night through each semester.
I always say Jesus came not to be served, but to serve, and so we really care about the customer and the guest, and we teach that in the classroom, and the students are exposed to all areas of hospitality.
John's knowledge and enthusiasm for teaching gives his students many advantages, including the opportunity to travel.
We've had students travel really worldwide through these opportunities that are afforded, because we do make some money when the sponsorships are healthy and the dinners go well.
This has been an IPFW Faculty Minute. The right school, right here, right now.
You may have noticed IPFW's basketball games are a lot more fun this year, thanks to our very own pep band. Hi, I'm Krista Markham.
I'm Matt Ehrman.
And I'm Barry Sturgill, Stop Band Director. The Stop Band is looking for more members, and we want you to join.
This is a great chance to be a part of a new tradition at IPFW and meet lots of great people too.
So dust off those trumpets, pull the flutes out of the attic, and join us at the next game.
Call 260-481-6166 for more information on how you can share your school spirit and IPFW pride.
Going to college is something many people plan and save for, but in these days of tight budgets, that can be a scary proposition. And what about colleges and universities themselves? How do they face budget crunches? Is there anything the institutions or their alumni can do to get more funding? I'm Jeanette Liu, and I'll have the answers to these and other questions on this month's edition of IPFW Up Close, Sundays at noon on College Cable Access Channel 56.
I wanted to study engineering so I could get a better job without giving up the job I've already got.
Of course, getting a degree without going into debt was pretty high on my list too.
And I wanted the kind of education that I could only get in smaller classes with the professor's full attention.
IPFW offered me all of that. And the Purdue engineering degree is going to look pretty good on my resume.
Going to IPFW is the best choice I ever made.
IPFW, the right school, right here, right now.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. Mike Maas, Charlie Washington with you. It's halftime of our game, featuring the Penguins of Youngstown State University, a member of the Horizon League, and the IPFW Mastodons. And at the break, IPFW, in spite of not being able to hit the broadside of a barn, Charlie, lead 33-31.
Well, free throws have certainly been a killer. 8 for 16. That 50%, easy math for me. If it were any different numbers, I wouldn't be able to compute it. But 50%, while they're 7 for 7. Both teams shooting 11 for 31, which certainly didn't send the world on fire. But the free throw line is a big key for the Mastodons. We'd be up by a few if we could convert free throws. And remember, a lot of those are the front ends of 1-and-1 free throws.
Yep. You get a look at some of the members of the crowd here today. In fact, that lady in the blue is Carla Knoll, wife of head coach Doug Knoll. Let's take a look quickly at some of the first half numbers. As you said, Charlie, both teams shooting 36% of the floor, 11 of 31. Youngstown State 2 of 7 from three-point range, and 7 of 7 at the foul line. IPFW 3 of 13 from three-point range and 8 of 16 at the stripe. Mastodons are led by David Simon, the 6'10 sophomore, 6'9" sophomore, I should say. 4 of 6 on the floor, 8 points, but 2 fouls.
In 9 minutes.
In only 9 minutes of play. Brandon Jennings off the bench, 6 points. Rick Wyand, 2 3-point field goals for 6 points. Jim Kesenick, 3 of 4 at the stripe with a field goal for 6 points. And 3 points from Terry Cowens, only 1 of 5 from the floor plus a free throw. And 2 points apiece from D'Angelo Woodall and Brad Knoll, with Kyle Thrasher, Tyler Clevenger, and Quentin Carruthers all playing but not scoring. For Youngstown State, they were led by their big man, Brian Radakovich. 7 points, 3 of 4 from the floor, 1 of 1 at the line. 5 points apiece from Doug Underwood, TJ Anderson, and Adam Ballman. 3 points from Andy Yonke, and 2 points apiece from Kari McQueen, Bill Maloney, Jamel Porter, with Derek Harris, Jonathan Menz, and Marlon Williamson playing but not scoring. Rebounding, Youngstown State out rebounding IPFW 24-20. Assists are even at 4. Turnovers, Youngstown State charged with 6 turnovers, IPFW with only 2. That's a mind-boggling number. 3 steals for IPFW, 2 for Youngstown State. But the key area, Charlie, as we look at Doug Knoll, teams warming up in the second half, foul trouble. David Simon sat down at the 8:31 mark and did not play the rest of the first half. He's got 2 fouls. Jim Kesnick has 2 fouls. Terry Cowens has 2 fouls for IPFW. And for Youngstown State, their point guard, Marlon Williamson, and their center, Adam Ballman, each with 3 fouls.
So it may come down to depth. Who has the better depth on their bench throughout their teams? And that's been a concern for the Dons all year. Do you lose offense? Do you lose defense once you take one player out for the other?
Well, while we are here at the Hilliard Gate Center with the men's team, our women's team traveled to Nashville, Tennessee in a rematch of a game we broadcast last week on Channel 56. They took on the Lipscomb Lady Bisons. And unfortunately, the result today was different. Game just completed, and Lipscomb snaps an IPFW 4-game winning streak, winning 61-42. And I'm looking here, IPFW had nobody in double figures.
Wow.
Courtney Nicely had 7 points to lead IPFW scoring today. They only hit 3 of 21 3-point shots, and they were 9 of 16 at the foul line. So let's see if the men's team can do better in the second half here. As we get ready for the second half, Charlie, what do you see as a key?
Keeping David Simon on the basketball court. It's certainly one of the big keys, and getting them in continued foul trouble and making the free throws.
We've got the starters. That's David Simon, Jim Kesnick, Terry Collins, Rick Wyan, and D'Angelo Woodall on the floor for IPFW. Marlon Williamson, Doug Underwood, T.J. Anderson, Adam Ballman, and Brian Radakovich. So the starters for both teams going to start this second half. It will be Youngstown State with the basketball. And we've said this many a time over the years, Charlie, the first 5 minutes are going to be a key to this second half.
No question about that. A good stop here and get a couple scores.
T.J. Anderson moving around the horn. Feed inside. Ballman over David Simon, puts it up and in.
And Simon probably a little bit more tentative than he normally would be, having the foul trouble and not wanting to get into quick foul trouble. I think now it's important to go to Simon on the offensive end.
We're tied at 33. IPFW with their first possession of the second half. Collins long on a 3-point shot, recovered by Ballman. Youngstown State. Here come the Penguins. Chance to retake the lead. Anderson watched by Rick Wyand. Underwood. Ball knocked away. It's a last touch by Woodall. It'll remain Youngstown State basketball. 18 on the shot clock. 19:05 on the second half game clock. T.J. Anderson will inbound it. Williamson watched by Collins. Williamson wants to drive. Kicks it out and they lose it. Fired a pass that Underwood couldn't handle. Turnover number 7 for Youngstown State.
And that's not an awful lot of turnovers. And as you stated, the Dons only 2 turnovers. Great job there of taking care of the basketball. Very important to get shots, no turnovers.
Let's see if they can not only take shots, but make shots. Wyan back up top to DeWoodall. Back to Wyan, looking for Simon. Instead, Kesnick drives on Ballman. Turnaround jumper is good.
Great skip pass that time by Wyan. Looking inside, but skipping as the defense started to cheat towards Simon. Great pass.
8 points now for Jim Kesnick. Don's up by 2. Ball knocked out of bounds by Kesnick as Underwood tried to hit Radakovich underneath. Again, IPFW having to play that good help defense. Williamson up top. Ball knocked away by Jim Kesnick. 8th turnover on Youngstown State. Collins underneath, kisses off to Wyan for the layup. Nice play, Terry Collins.
Great pass. Good job by Wyan getting down court.
Lead up to 4, 37-33, and now we got what you and I like to call a touch foul on Terry Collins.
And that touch foul results in number 3 on Collins, and that's not a good thing for the Dons. We need him on the floor, and we need him to get going. His scoring is sorely needed.
First team foul of the second half on IPFW. Anderson will inbound it. Underwood. Williamson and Collins trying to stare each other down. Anderson pops, misses. Woodall with the rebound underneath. Don's on the run. Collins, baseline jumper. No. Rebound, Wyand puts it back up and he's fouled going up. Rick Wyand, strong offensive rebound.
And I think after watching him a couple of weeks ago for the first time coming off the injury, I think he's getting more and more comfortable with that. And then certainly there's going to be some tentativeness when you first get onto the court. Can I make a break? Can I make a move? Can I make a cut? But he's looking more and more comfortable and looked great that time going to the offensive glass.
That foul, by the way, was called on Adam Ballman. That is his 4th. So at the 17:32 mark, he's going to have to sit down. Now you got head referee Mark Massaru talking with Youngstown coach John Robick.
And they're giving Robick a lot of latitude being on the basketball court. He's inching out farther and farther onto the playing surface.
I'm sorry, Charlie. I think what Robick is bartering for is he's trying to have the foul called on someone other than Ballman, but it was clearly a foul by Ballman.
Well, this isn't the NBA. It's not like Ballman's like Michael Jordan and the referee's going to call it on someone else to keep him in the basketball game.
Rick Wyant makes the first of 2 free throws.
And that's certainly no knock against Bauman, but you know the referees call the fouls, but they will do that in the NBA level to keep the star on the court because that's who we come to watch.
Second free throw also good by Wyant. Rick now 4 of his 10 points here in the second half, and it's a 6-point Mastodon lead, 39-33. Now we got a foul called, I believe, on Youngstown. Underwood picks up his third.
Great savvy move that time by D'Angelo Woodall.
And we've got a timeout called on the floor. 17:22 left. Mastodons lead 39-33. Let's take a break. You're watching IPFW basketball on College 56 Sports.
Going to college is something many people plan and save for, but in these days of tight budgets, that can be a scary proposition. And what about colleges and universities themselves? How do they face budget crunches? Is there anything the institutions or their alumni can do to get more funding? I'm Jeanette Liu, and I'll have the answers to these and other questions on this month's edition of IPFW Up Close, Sundays at noon on College Cable Access Channel 56.
You're looking at the Youngstown State University bench in their traveling red uniforms with white trim. 17:22 left here in the second half. Mike Moss, Charlie Washington with you here at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. And right now, IPFW up 39-33.
Well, and the momentum's changing a little bit coming out of the first half. We've inched that lead up to 6 points now, and the last 2 calls, somewhat controversial calls, have gone the Mastodons' way and have shaken Youngstown State, the Penguins. This is the first time I've said the Penguins tonight. Haven't been a little remiss in using their nickname.
You got to look at head coach John Ropick in his 4th year as the head coach of Youngstown State. Comes into today's game with a record of 44-62. Woodall with a basketball being hounded by Williamson. This play gets back underway. Kesnick, the high post, almost went to 5 seconds.
Good recognition that time by Kesnick to know it was getting close and to back up. A good idea, I think, now to go inside to Simon.
Kesnick forces one up, knocks it down, and he draws the foul.
Or just as good. Kesnick.
Foul was on Kari McQueen, and that's his 3rd. Team's 3rd. And a nice soft touch by Jim Kesnick there. Chance for the conventional 3-point play. Kess averaging over 12 points a game. Makes the free throw. He's got 5 points here in the first 3 minutes of the second half. The lead up to 9, 42-33. Let's see if IPFW can close the deal. Radakovich inside, swatted away by Simon. Underwood gets it back. Radakovich, turnaround shot, no. Gets it back, puts it up and in. Brian Radakovich had 3 cracks at it.
And that was an example that time. He kind of pushed Jim Kesnick around a little bit. That strength, just a little bit too much for the slimmer Kesnick that time.
Doug Knoll didn't like what he saw. He calls a 30-second timeout. As you can see, he's not exactly the happiest of campers right now.
No, that time the Dons, the big folks down inside giving up position a little bit too easy.
Learn more about Mastodon sports in season by tuning into Mastodon Spotlight each Wednesday and Friday evening here on College 56. The hour starts off with yours truly, Mike Miles, reviewing the week's sports activities. We look at game footage and talk with coaches and players. That's Mastodon Spotlight, Wednesday and Friday evenings at 9 p.m. right here on College 56. Well, Doug Moe's had his say. Let's see what happens. Woodall brings the ball up. Terry Collins. Wyant for three off the rim. Underwood pulls down the rebound.
Wyant that time a little bit off balance and out of rhythm.
Underwood watched by Woodall. Williamson still being watched by Collins. Jerry with 3 fouls. Looking for Radakovic. Kick it out to Anderson. Anderson in the paint. Knocks it down. And they say that Wyant fouled him. First foul on Rick Wyant. Second on the team. And at the line, T.J. Anderson looking for point number 8.
That's a nice strong move by Anderson, going strong to his right and finger rolling the ball in.
T.J. Anderson. Eyes and fires and hits. Conventional three-point play. Pulls Youngstown State to within 4 at 42-38. We've got a timeout on the floor. So let's take a break. 15:45 left to go in this contest. Stay tuned. IPFW basketball comes back in just a moment right here on College 56 Sports.
Hi. I was wondering if you wanted to go out maybe or something, if you had time.
I can tell by your excitable behavior and verbal faux pas that you have generalized anxiety with paranoid tendencies. It would never work.
Okay, thanks.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Welcome back, everybody. Mike Moss, Charlie Washington with you. 15:45 left here in the second half. The IPFW lead's just been slashed from 7 to 4, 42-38 on a three-point play by T.J. Anderson. Charlie, IPFW Sports Information Director Mike Joe was kind enough to bring over some scores. We talked about the IPFW women's team losing to Lipscomb. A couple of scores of interest. In the second half, Purdue, which leads the Big Ten, losing up at Minnesota 51-32. And top-ranked Florida, which got demolished by Kentucky earlier in the week, took their frustrations out on Alabama, defeating the Crimson Tide 75-56.
Well, Mike, in big conferences, in Division I basketball, it's awful tough to win on the road. So anywhere, as we saw with IU losing up at Northwestern, anytime you got big-time basketball on the road, it's going to be tough.
Youngstown State comes out with a full court pressure, but the Dons get it up over midcourt. Kesnick inside for Simon. David jams it home. Ooh. Nice strength there by David Simon.
And that's why you got to have him on the floor, for that strength and the chance for the easy buckets.
Simon in double figures with 10 points now. Lead up to a half a dozen. Underwood knocks one down, and he draws the foul. Woodall picks up his second. And I don't know if it's just me, Charlie, but it seems like these officials are calling a lot closer game here in the second half.
Well, I think you're right. And that time, D'Angelo Woodall got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. And Underwood's been relatively quiet, and we certainly want to keep him that way. He came in averaging about 15 points a game and been somewhat quiet. Let's look and see how many points he does have.
Well, right now he's got 7. Make it 8.
Shooting for 8.
As he gets the three-point play.
About halfway, a little bit over halfway to his average.
44-41. IPFW clinging to a three-point lead as we near the 15-minute mark. Kesnick looking for David Simon to cut. Simon back to Kesnick. They play the hot potato game on the outside. Terry Collins looking for a cutter. Simon in the block. Wyan underneath, up off the glass, no. Rebounded by McQueen. Not quite enough oomph in that Rick Wyan shot there.
And they're sending a double team every time David Simon gets the ball inside. I don't know if that's by design or out of tremendous respect for Simon, and probably a little bit of both.
Men's in the lineup for Youngstown State with a basketball. Knocked out of bounds, pass intended for Underwood. Terry Collins with the quick hands. Brad Knoll checks into the IPFW lineup. And he'll replace Terry Collins. Penguins are inbounded. They got 15 on the shot clock. They trail by 3. 44-41. TJ Anderson. Watched by Wyan. 4 on the shot clock. Williamson may not realize it. Shot clock violation. Credit IPFW with the defense. Marlon Williams, I'm sorry, not Williamson, it was Jonathan Mins at the point. Did not recognize the shot clock winding down.
And either someone on the court or someone on the sideline has to let the team know how many seconds are left. You have to start counting down, and to their advantage, they were on their end.
Well, Mins, the freshman, replaced by Williamson, the senior, as John Robrick wants to get experience in the backcourt, back on the court right now. Kesnick, turn around, oh, fake the jumper. Fake me out, that's for sure. Simon being harassed underneath by Maloney. Kesnick for 3, yes!
Once again, the skip pass, and David Simon's not getting the basketball, but every defender on the Youngstown State team is cheating a half a step, causing that skip pass to be open.
Lead back up to 6. Anderson, pass intended for McQueen, knocked out of bounds by IPFW. Radakovich back in the Penguin lineup, replacing McQueen. Brandon Jennings in the IPFW lineup, replacing Rick Wyan. Rick checks out with 10 points. Anderson to inbound it. Maloney, 8-foot shot short. Kesnick has it knocked out of his hands. It'll be IPFW basketball. 13 minutes, 20 seconds left here in the second half. IPFW with a 6-point lead, 47-41. Glad you could join us today here on College 56 Sports. IPFW going for their second win in a row. Win number 6 overall here on the season. Knoll in the trees, misses the shot, loose ball. They're saying Youngstown ball, and I question why there's no call. Radakovich all over Brad Knoll's back.
Well, actually, that happened after the play. Brad, nice tip, and it went off, I think, Kessner's knee. He tapped it up.
Williamson picked up by Knoll at midcourt. Senior against senior. Underwood kicks it out. Anderson, they play give and go. Underwood, left-handed 3, off the rim, no. Fight for the rebound, volleyball time. Kesnick comes down with it.
Great fight that time by Jennings.
And Arnie Ball's in attendance here today, the head coach of IPFW men's volleyball, and he sure would have loved that. Woodall misses the jumper. Kesnick with the offensive rebound. Mastodons reload. We got the senior backcourt right now. Knoll and Woodall. See if they can. Simon triple teamed off the glass and in anyway.
Great job. That's what we have to do. Get the ball inside. Make him a presence to give him a touch every now and then. More now than then, we hope.
49-41, the lead up to 8 as we go under the 12-minute mark. Underwood driving on Woodall. They're going to call foul on Woodall. And for D, that's his 3rd. Team 3rd.
That's still good defense by Woodall to even make it close. A hard call for the referee to make as we have a timeout. We've been talking about our seniors once again, Mike, and Brad Knoll. I know when I played, what basketball did for me, all the relationships and just the outside of basketball, the things that it'll do for your life. And we have Brad coming up right now telling us a little bit about relationships.
The thing that I'll take with me, you know, once I move on, is the relationships that I've made, and with my roommates especially. Moving in the first day, we were sophomores when we moved in together, and it was kind of like we were getting over the hump of, okay, we're not the rookies anymore. You know, we need to hold each other accountable, and you know, we need to really take this program to the next level. And that in itself, I think, is a memory that I'll always take with me, is building the friendships and the relationships with these guys, and trying to lead a group of individuals, you know, to accomplish our goals.
The words of IPFW senior Brad Knoll as you look at the Youngstown State bench. 11:55, Charlie. IPFW weathering the storm, and they're starting to get the ball to the two big men. David Simon with 4 of his 12 points here in the second half. Jim Kesnick with 8 of his 14 points here in the second half.
Well, that's how important David Simon is to this basketball team. His improvement over the season has made him a presence. Teams are cheating to him, teams are double teaming him, and that allows that extra step, that extra split second for other people that other people need to get open and to get shots.
Well, Kesnick, Simon, Jennings, Crothers, and Knoll in the lineup for IPFW right now. It's Youngstown State with a basketball. Ballman off the glass, misses. Anderson with the offensive putback, and to kick it out. Underwood. Williamson for 3, and gets it. Lucky bounce, and what we got underneath? They're going to count the bucket. Okay, they're going to call a foul on Carruthers. That's his first, team 4th. They're going to call the basket good by Williamson. That's his first points of the day. The lead is down to 5, and Youngstown State retains possession. This could be a big sequence of events. Another 3-point shot by Williamson. This one's short. Kesnick pulls down the rebound. Charlie, I think it's kind of important that IPFW score in this possession.
Very much so, and I think you should do it by going inside and in some inside-out action.
But you got a whistle, and Radakovich is going to be called for mugging David Simon. And I don't like to use those terms like that, but that's exactly what's going on underneath. First foul on Brian Radakovich. IPFW will inbound it. If you get a chance, viewers, don't always look at the ball, but look at some of the action underneath, and you may see these players clutching and grabbing almost like hockey. Knoll for 3. No, Kesnick with the rebound. Brings it back out, and the Dons will reload, start over, and burn some clock. Crothers up top. Lob pass to Simon. Simon, they're going to call offensive foul on Simon. That's what they're saying. Bo Borowski, the official, says Simon just committed his 3rd foul.
And that's a big call right there. Big call, and actually, Coach Knoll was going to take Simon out to give him a breather. Rick Wine was already at the scorer's table when that foul occurred.
3 fouls, David Simon takes a seat in the bench. Youngstown State on a little bit of a run here. Down by 5. Williamson. Are they calling a foul on Knoll?
Yeah, the referee didn't see it, but when Williamson went down, you almost have to call that.
First foul on Brad Knoll. That is the 6th team foul on IPFW. One more, and Youngstown State will be shooting. We've got 10:44 to go, and Youngstown State 9 of 9 at the foul line. So we're going to look at John Robick, head coach. Williamson up now. It's padded by Brad Knoll. Guess he got his bell rung, so to speak.
Well, the eye was poked out. He should have did that old Three Stooges, put the hand up.
They're going to give him 2 shots, interestingly enough. Or 1 and 1, I should say. It has to be 2. It's only 16 fouls. Or they're saying 7. Okay. We'll get it right now. Williamson now with 4 points, all scored here in the second half. Makes another. Penguins 11 of 11 at the foul line.
And that may not be a bad thing for the Mastodons. This offense does not run as smoothly with Williamson on the bench, as we saw with the they had the 35-second clock violation.
The lead is down to 3, 10.5 minutes to go. Ryan with the basketball. Noel. Crothers wants to shake and bake. Turnaround jumper, no. Rebound controlled by Ballman, who's back in the lineup with 4 fouls on him. Mins also in the lineup for Youngstown State. Anderson watched by Jennings. Ball almost knocked away. 12 on a shot clock. Muscling his way in is Ballman.
That's exactly right, Mike. Muscling his way in, bumping.
He's got 9, the lead down to 3, 51-48. If you're an IPFW fan, things are getting a little bit tense.
And our offense, on the other hand, does not run as smoothly with D'Angelo Woodall not in the basketball game, but he is at the scorer's table.
Nice feed to Jennings from Carruthers, and Jennings banks it off the glass and in.
Good job that time getting the ball, and Jennings being strong with the basketball. Didn't catch it, but was strong enough to keep it in possession.
Good eye contact that time between Carruthers and Jennings, the freshman connecting. Anderson takes it strong, no good. What do they got underneath? Players battling for it. They're going to call jump ball, order possession goes to IPFW. And things are getting a little physical. Williamson back in the Youngstown lineup, replacing Mins. And Terry Collins going to come in the IPFW lineup, replacing Carruthers. Oh, Brad Noel, rather, I'm sorry. Woodall back in the lineup as well. Jennings, Woodall, Collins, Wyant, and Kesnick wearing the white. Now it's time for that senior leadership to come to the forefront. Rick Wyand up top to Woodall. 8:35 to go. Collins in the paint. Has it knocked away. Gets it back, puts it up, no good. Rebound controlled by Underwood. Williamson on the run. Cut off by Kesnick. Gets it back, give and go. Williamson for 3, no. Short of the mark. Wyant with a big rebound for IPFW. Angelo Woodall's going to walk it up with 8:10 to go. His team up by 3, 51-48. Radakovich. Wyant for Jennings in the paint. 5 on the shot clock. Back up to Woodall. He's got to shoot. Forces it up. They're going to say no, that the ball did not leave his hand before the clock went down. And that brings us to immediate timeout. 7:42 to go. The Dons lead by 3, 51-48.
Well, Mike, as IPFW has made the transition from Division II to Division I basketball, they've found out that you have to be a lot bigger and stronger than you had been at this level. And D'Angelo Woodall is certainly a testament as he came in at 165 and lifted weights to pump up to 185.
Well, last year we knew we had to get a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger and a little bit faster, which our weight program took us to. And then this year we knew we kind of had a idea what it takes to play at this level, and that's coming out competing for 40 minutes every game.
Yep. You heard D'Angelo Woodall. Again, for some unknown reason, Charlie, D'Angelo Woodall and Brad Knoll, two of the nicest guys you ever want to meet. And, you know, we talked earlier, D'Angelo coming in, playing the point, and Brad coming in as a two-guard initially, and then having his roles changed as things evolved. IPFW leaving the Division II ranks, had the year of transition, and this year, technically the official first year of Division I basketball. And it's interesting how, as they grow older and mature, and they realize what their roles are and how they respond.
Well, and that's no surprise that that's going to happen anytime, you know, freshmen become seniors. Just that evolution process that happens. But these two guys have certainly done that. And, you know, a lot of people are going to stand on their shoulders, just as I feel like these guys are standing on my shoulders coming from that Division II level in the Great Lakes Valley and that whole history. So great job, and certainly other guys, Nick Wise and on and on and on.
Big turnover. T.J. Anderson called for traveling. Turnover number 10 on Youngstown State.
Big possession right here.
Kesnick. And work it back up top. Collins to Woodall. Youngstown, man-to-man defense. Terry Collins, fake the three. Wants to drive. Knocks it down. They're going to count it.
Yes, they are going to count it. And that's a bonus for you, because you get a chance for a three-point play right now, and that's 7 minutes. Now if your coach knows, you wonder, when do I bring my big fella back? He's got 3 fouls. He's got 2 to burn. Well, really 1 to burn, 2 to foul out. When do I bring him in? I'm thinking 6 minutes. If I can get enough, buy another minute out of here and get Simon back in.
Foul was on Underwood, his 4th. Collins knocks down the free throw. Big three-point play for Terry Collins. Lead back up to 6 with 7 minutes to go. 54-48.
And the Williams. Excuse me, Mike. Don's in a 2-3 zone, and that's very conducive to a player in foul trouble.
Ballman misses the shot. Got his own rebound and drew a foul. Let's see who they call it on. They're going to call it on Jennings. That's Brandon's first of the afternoon. 8th team foul. And you got to give Adam Ballman some credit. He's played a long time with 4 fouls.
And he's still battling. He's not eased up with those 4 fouls.
Second leading scorer on this team, averaging just over 12 points a game. Gets the friendly bounce. He's now 2 of 2 at the stripe today. Got 10 points overall, going for point number 11. And he gets it. And I'm amazed, Charlie. Youngstown State a perfect 13 of 13 at the foul line this afternoon. IPFW, on the other hand, 12 of 20. It's a 4-point game. 6:35 to go. IPFW with the lead in the basketball. Jennings up top. Woodall. Kesnick in the block. Spin move. Turnaround jumper off the glass. No. Fight for the rebound. Controlled by Youngstown. Underwood dishes off underneath. Ballman and makes the shot and draws a Kesnick foul.
Now you have to put Simon back in the game. There is no presence on the inside right now for the Mastodons. Kessler's a nice wing player. Occasionally will get you a basket inside, but he's certainly more comfortable on the outside, facing the basket. Need an inside presence.
3 fouls on Jim Kesnick. So Kesnick, Simon, Woodall, and Collins all with 3 fouls apiece. Meanwhile, back-to-back conventional 3-point plays by Adam Ballman brings the Penguins to within 1, 54-53, 6:05 to go. Perhaps the biggest possession of the game for IPFW. Woodall off the glass and in.
And that's senior leadership coming through right there when you need a basket. And I'm not particularly a scorer, but I'm going to find a way to get us a basket.
T.J. Anderson, offensive foul on Anderson. That's his 2nd. Team 6th. Action going back to back and forth. 5:49 to go. IPFW clinging to a 56-53 lead. Looking for their second win in a row. Woodall up top. 15 on the shot clock. Jennings looking for Wyant down low. Bounce pass, Wyant gets it. 5 on the shot clock. Wyant being hounded by Anderson. Forces it up off the glass, no. Rebounded by Jennings, took it away from Ballman.
Great job. Small guards do that quite a bit. Once a defensive player gets a rebound, you sneak right under him and get it. Great job that time by Jennings.
Fresh 30 for IPFW. See if they can take advantage of the good play by Jennings. Woodall to Jennings, 17-footer, yes!
Great job.
Brandon Jennings not playing like a freshman in the last 2 possessions. Youngstown State calls a 30-second timeout. Let's take a break. 4:43 to go. It's 58-53 IPFW. You're watching Mastodon basketball on College 56 Sports. .43 left here at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. Mike Moss, Charlie Washington with you. IPFW 58, Youngstown State 53. Charlie, David Simons at the scorer's table waiting for the next dead ball.
The coach waited a little longer than I would have.
Underwood watched by Collins. Williamson up top. 16-footer off the mark. Rebound out of bounds. They say off of Radakovich last. It'll be Mastodon basketball. Now Simon comes in for Jennings. Brandon Jennings, 10 points, but the last 2 possessions, that offensive steal. So they're taking that off that rebound from Ballman, giving the IPFW another possession, and then making that shot. Big time plays for the freshman.
And you mentioned he's not playing like a freshman. Well, I'll tell you what, at this stage of the year, freshmen aren't freshmen anymore.
Terry Collins. Back up top, Kasnick to Woodall. IPFW wanting to stretch the defense by Youngstown State. 12 on a shot clock. Kasnick to Wyand. Wyand drive, baseline, off the glass. No, it's blocked by Anderson. Picked up by Underwood. Penguins on the run. Underwood stops, pops short. Woodall blocks out and gets the rebound.
And that's where Wyand didn't have the explosiveness from that knee, and it didn't help him at all that time.
Woodall up top, 3:28 to go. 58-53 Mastodon lead. Woodall in the paint, kicks it out. 3-pointer on the way, and good by Kasnick.
Big shot. Big shot. And that's where you want him. And with Simon in the game, as we mentioned earlier, that allows Kessis to move outside.
Kasnick with 17 points today, leading the Mastodon offensive attack. Lob pass to Anderson, lays it up and in.
That time, Simon and the rest of the IPFW defense just fell asleep.
61-55, under 3 minutes to go. Woodall being hounded by Williamson, and now timeout called before Williamson committed the foul. 30-second foul, I believe. Yeah, 30-second foul called by Doug Knoll. You two could do more than just sit on the sidelines. Participate in the excitement of Mastodon athletics by joining the Royal Dons Club. The Royal Dons is IPFW's official athletic booster organization. Members enjoy priority seating at IPFW sports events, visits by the coaches, and food and refreshments in the hospitality room. For more information about the Royal Dons, call 260-481-6643. You can write to the Royal Dons Club, 2101 East Coliseum Boulevard, Fort Wayne, Indiana 46805. or you can go to the IPFW Athletics website at www.ipfw.edu/athletics. 2:47 to go. IPFW with one timeout. It's a full one. Youngstown State with a full one of 30. Team fouls, IPFW 9, Youngstown State 6, and they're both going to be shooting. Possession arrow favors Youngstown State. Wyan inside to Simon. Shot up, no. Rebounded by Ballman.
I guess we can call that a shot up. He went to go up, and I think he got hacked on the arm, and the ball went up like it was a shot.
Anderson dishes off. Radakovich underneath. Knocked away. Ballman up and in. Count it, and he's fouled.
And that's the 4th on Simon.
They're saying that's his 5th foul. I only had him for 4. Interesting.
Yeah, I must have missed one somewhere.
Well, they say he fouls out with 2:20 to go. And being the 10th team foul, it's going to be a 3-point play opportunity for Adam Ballman. He played strong in the second half. 11 of his 16 points in the second half here. Chance to cut the deficit to 3 at 61-58, and he does. And we've got our last media timeout of the afternoon.
And Mike, we've talked about our seniors once more. Again, we're using this as kind of our senior night. And we have Coach Knoll talking more about, we talked about building blocks and cornerstones and what these 2 seniors, D'Angelo Woodall and Brad Knoll, have done for this program. Brad Knoll came in averaging double figures for 2 years and then kind of eased off into a role. D'Angelo Woodall came in playing behind as a backup role in the last 3 years, been tremendous at point guard. And Coach Knoll has some very kind words to say for these 2 young men.
As far as I'm concerned, that's a moot point. What they've done is they've put our program on the map. They've been the cornerstones to say, we've come through here, we've gotten our education, we've shown now these guys coming in what this program is all about, what this program is capable of doing, and they've raised the bar. And these new kids coming in will be benefited by Brad and D'Angelo. And
the words of head coach Doug Knoll. 2:20 to go, Charlie. It's a 3-point ball game, 1 possession. What does IPFW have to do?
Well, now the strategy has to be a little different. With Simon on the floor, he had been a big presence. Now you have to find out, you have to do some scoring on your own. D'Angelo Woodall has to set some guys up, and some guys have to come through.
Kesnick inbounds it to Woodall. Kesnick, Woodall, Collins, Wyatt, and Jennings on the floor for the Mastodons. Men's watching Woodall. 2:07 to go. Woodall up top. Still plenty of time. 15 in the shot clock. Just under 2 minutes on the game clock. Woodall takes it strong. Draws a foul.
And that's a break for Youngstown State because Woodall, great dish off that time inside, would have had a layup, or certainly a layup opportunity.
Foul was on men's, his 2nd, team 7th. Instead of the layup, D'Angelo Woodall's going to earn him at the stripe. 1 and bonus. .63% at the stripe coming into this game today. Senior fires, misses. Rebounded by Radakovich. Penguins with a chance to cut it to 1 or tie the ball game. They can make a 3-point field goal. .45 to go. Williamson up top. Underwood. Minute 35 to go. Underwood to Williamson. Bounce pass inside. TJ Anderson misses the shot. Rebound goes off of Kesnick. Out of bounds. Youngstown retains possession.
And that's something what we teach young people. I do some coaching at the younger level. Teach kids, keep your arms up. So when a ball comes, inadvertent ball comes at you like that, your arms are already up and you can just snatch that basketball. When they're all the way down, you have to go up, and that takes a split second, and that time it cost us.
Youngstown State calls a timeout. We'll take one as well. 1:25 to play. It's Mastodons 61, Penguins 58. You're watching IPFW basketball on College 56 Sports.
You may have noticed IPFW's basketball games are a lot more fun this year, thanks to our very own pep band. Hi, I'm Krista Markham.
I'm Matt Ehrman.
And I'm Barry Sturgill, Stop Band Director. The Stop Band is looking for more members, and we want you to join.
This is a great chance to be a part of a new tradition at IPFW and meet lots of great people, too.
So dust off those trumpets, pull the flutes out of the attic, and join us at the next game.
Call 260-481-6166 for more information on how you can share your school spirit and IPFW pride.
We are back, Hilliard Gates Sports Center on the campus of IPFW. Mike Miles from Charlie Washington with you. 1 minute, 25 seconds left. It's IPFW 61, Youngstown State 58. Youngstown State just called a timeout. They have 1 30-second timeout left. IPFW has a full timeout left. Youngstown State, the double bonus, as IPFW has committed over 10 fouls. IPFW in the 1+ bonus, as the Penguins have only committed 17 fouls here in the second half. Possession arrow in the favor of Youngstown State, and it will be Penguin basketball. TJ Anderson to inbound it. Underwood has to go back almost underneath his own basket to get it.
Don't see that too often with the pass going from one end to the other like that.
Williamson, top of the key. Fakes the three. Radakovich back to Williamson. 1:05 left. Williamson. Give and go. Skip pass. Radakovich. Williamson. Underwood. Drives. Fires and hits. With 55 seconds to go. It's a 1-point game.
And it may come down to the free throw line, and that may not bode well for the Dons if they've shot awful from the free throw line this afternoon.
Williamson hounding Woodall. Jennings. Collins, 40 seconds to go, and IPFW calls their last timeout with 40.1 seconds to go. I want to remind you to tune in to College 56 Sunday evening, February 16th at 7 p.m. for the replay of today's men's basketball game with Youngstown State. That's Sunday, February 16th, 7 p.m. right here on College 56. Well, you look at the Youngstown State bench on the screen, listening to their coach John Robick, IPFW, listening to coach Doug Knoll. 40.1 seconds left. IPFW out of timeouts. Even though they got a 1-point lead, how do you think that may play down the stretch?
Well, it could come into, major play if you have the basketball and the lead, or even not the lead, and you need to draw up a play, or if you're taking the ball out of bounds and you don't have the time, you may need that one, but can't take them home with you, so you might as well use them.
So critical for IPFW with the possession. It's 40.1 seconds on the game clock, 20 seconds on the possession clock. You know the Dons want to work that full 20 seconds, but they need a score. Whether it's a deuce or a three, they need to score on this possession.
And right now the strength seems to be spreading the floor a little bit, giving D'Angelo Woodall the ball, having him break down his defensive player and either go all the way to the basket or dish off.
Jennings, Collins, Wyan, Kesnick, and Woodall on the floor for IPFW. Anderson, Radakovich, Williamson, Ballman, and Underwood on the floor for Youngstown State. Here we go. Collins picked up by Underwood. Woodall, senior leadership time. Terry Collins for three. Yes! They're calling it a two. Calling it a two.
Big bucket. Great job, Collins, coming off the screen that time.
The lead is 3. 20 seconds to go. Williamson, watched by Collins. TJ Anderson wants to drive. We got a whistle underneath. They're going to call a foul. It'll be a 2-shot foul. They're going to call Rick Wyan for the foul. His second. TJ Anderson at the line, shooting 2. Anderson, 59% free throw shooter coming in. And he's 2 for 2 today. Bounces the first one up and in. 63-61. See the IPFW coaches making sure that their players on the floor know they have no timeouts.
And he put a free throw shooter in, Brad Knoll, for his buddy D'Angelo Woodall, because that's certainly what it's going to come down to.
Anderson going for the second free throw. Misses it. Tap up controlled by Kisnick. Has it knocked away and he's fouled. And he'll go to the line to shoot one in bonus, I think. They're going to call the foul on Williamson, his 4th. 12.6 seconds left. Team 8, that's 1 plus bonus. 1 plus bonus. Jim Kesnick, 80% free throw shooter coming in. He's 4 of 5 this afternoon.
And the key, Mike, right now is you get them both, you got a 2-possession basketball game.
At least make the first. First makes it a 3-point game. Big free throw for the junior from Pewaukee. Makes it. Ice in the veins. 18 points for Jim Kesnick. Chance to make it a 2-possession game if he can knock down this next one. Got it. 2 clutch free throws. 12 seconds to go. It's a 4-point game. Williamson up the floor quickly, takes it the length of the floor, lays it up, and gets it in. 7.3 seconds. Youngstown calls their final timeout, a 30-second timeout.
That's a little bit quicker than what you want to see. Just straight down the court, easy, unmolested layup. Didn't take a lot of time off the court. Still 7.3. Game's not over yet.
Let's take a quick break. You're watching IPFW basketball on College 56 Sports.
Going to college is something many people plan and save for, but in these days of tight budgets, that can be a scary proposition. And what about colleges and universities themselves? How do they face budget crunches? Is there anything the institutions or their alumni can do to get more funding? I'm Jeanette Liu, and I'll have the answers to these and other questions on this month's edition of IPFW Up Close, Sundays at noon on College Cable Access Channel 56.
.3 seconds to go. Jennings trying to inbound the basketball to Wyan. Wyan's fouled by Williamson with 6.1 seconds. Williamson will foul out, and Rick Wyan will go to the line. Rick Wyan, 87% foul shooter, IPFW's best free throw shooter. See if he can cement this victory. Again, it's only 1 plus bonus. It's only the 9th team foul. So Rick's got to make the first to make it a 3-point game, but if he can make them both, it's not a timeout on the floor, but Williamson's fouled out. The official's gone to the official score and said, start the 30-second clock. You got 30 seconds to replace the player.
And that was actually a little bit of a dangerous play by Wyan, trying that cross-court pass. May have been stolen, and if he holds the ball, he's going to get fouled. And I think the referee, in anticipation and knowing that Youngstown State was trying to foul, called that foul. But Rick, hold on to that basketball next time when you know they're going to foul.
65-63. It's a 2-point IPFW lead. 6.1 seconds to go. IPFW with their best free throw shooter, Rick Wyan, at the line, the sophomore from Franklin Central, playing despite a lot of pain with a very severe bone bruise in his left knee. First free throw, no good. Rebound, Radakovic. Mans, Anderson lays it up and they're going to take it away. Traveling call. Disallow the basket. 4/10 of a second. Anderson scored the bucket, but he took too many steps. Robic John Robick, the head coach, not a happy camper. All IPFW has to do is inbound the basketball. Jennings to Woodall, and there she goes. Horn goes to end the game. The officials are heading for the locker room, and this game is over. IPFW hangs on. They win 65-63. Whoa, what a ball game, Charlie Washington.
I tell you what, give an assist to the referee. That's a tough call to make, but give him credit. He made the call. I believe a good call. Tough one to make. Hey, we'll take it and we'll walk away with the W. 2-game win streak. Doesn't sound like much, but I tell you, for a program that's growing in the infancy stages of Division I basketball, great job by the Dons.
Real quickly, IPFW, 4 players in double figures. Jim Kesnick with 19 points. David Simon with 12. Rick Wyant and Brandon Jennings, 10 apiece to lead IPFW. Youngstown State had 2 players in double figures. Adam Ballman with 17 points and Doug Underwood with 10. Mastodons, big ball game, 2 wins in a row. Charlie, that's any thought, final comments?
Certainly for us, Mike, a fond farewell to 2 seniors, Brad Knoll and D'Angelo Woodall. Great calling games for those 2. Good luck to those gentlemen in the future, and good luck to this program. Great job today by the Dons.
And great job by you as well. Always love working with you, Charlie. At this time, we want to thank the College 56 production crew, the IPFW athletic staff, the City of Fort Wayne, Comcast Cablevision, the IPFW Learning Resource Center, and especially the IPFW Office of University Relations and Communications for their contributions to this College 56 Sports telecast. This telecast of IPFW Sports is copyrighted and the sole property of the College Cable Access Center and IPFW. Unauthorized duplication, exhibition, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this event without express written consent is strictly prohibited. We hope you've enjoyed this telecast of IPFW Sports. We thank you again for joining us today. For Charlie Washington, this is Mike Maz. Once again, our final score, IPFW 65, Youngstown State 63. Tune in tomorrow night for the replay of last week's game against Lipscomb. Next Saturday, volleyball. Saturday night, IPFW against Penn State. Until then, have a pleasant good afternoon from the Hilliard Sports Center and the campus of IPFW.